How's everyone doing out there? Peace and blessings to the hearers and doers of the Lord's word. I want to talk about this topic about money. People today are worshiping money. Like money is not called the root of all evil for no reason. Right now, like it's a very like people back in the olden times or times of old people they would we've had people in the dust bowl. We've been through some really tough times here in America, like building the country from all the way from the time that we got over here with it, and people had a camaraderie. This is a Christian country. This was founded on Christian values. Christopher Columbus found the seven landmass from having a vision from God according to him after reading the Bible, a verse in the Bible. This is how the foundation of the country. This is the foundation of the country. And there's more camaraderie. We struggle together. We've now um now you have people who are comfortable. There's a saying, that they say that hard times create strong men and good times create weak men. Meaning that there's if there's no see, this is why God tests us. Like, you have to be tested and refined in fire. When we grew up, I didn't grow up in a rich household. My household, I lived with my grandmother, and my parents weren't together at the time. I had when I lived with my brother and my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather. They taught me a lot of life lessons, even though my mother and father was in my life. We didn't have a lot, you understand, but we had each other. We had more than some, and I was thankful for that. We didn't go out in meals and things like that, no, and we had more than a lot of people had, but we still weren't rich. But we were, but I felt like we were. We were rich in the spirit. We were rich in love, and rich in in knowledge and wisdom, and rich in security and things, all of these things that matter, that last. You understand? And loyalty. These and that was in a neighborhood. You had real friends. These days, people are more phony than ever because they're worshiping the dollar bill. Everyone is all about chasing the bag. No one, people feel like they don't have any worth anymore if they not trying to keep up with the Joneses. There used to be a saying called "keep up with the Joneses." Nowadays, people who aren't rich today, they still want to live like they are rich. People who will never be rich in their lifetime still want to live like they are rich, like they are millionaires. People who know that they need to be more thrifty with their money because of what they see and they're influenced by, they want to keep up. Everyone wants to be a celebrity. Everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses. So in doing that, you're gonna be burning. You're gonna live a lifestyle to where you're gonna be burning the candle at both ends. You're gonna find yourself in a disaster very quickly. Your life is gonna be a roller coaster. You're gonna be in a lot of debt. You're gonna constantly be chasing something that's running from you, which is money, and you're never gonna get a real relationship with the Creator, because the Lord says that you can't serve two gods. The Lord is a jealous God. Jehovah is a jealous God. And if you you can't serve him and serve money. You can't serve God and serve mammon. That's what it says in the Bible. Mammon is money. You can't serve that and then serve God. Money is called the root of all evil. Not saying that we can't, like, you should find something that you like to do, that you love to do, as a matter of fact, and you will make money at that. Listen to people who really make a lot of money, and who do a lot of great things. Who look at people who just do great things on the earth. Like, they number one goal wasn't just to make money. They're doing A lot of people, they do what they love, and they ended up making a lot of money at it. Because if you find your purpose and what you love to do, you'll constantly do that. And it will be like, it won't even be any stress there. You'll do it like lock and key, and you'll do it to the best of your ability. you'll also devote as much time as you can, because it won't be like you're working. So that's what that's his plan, that for all of us, that we find what we love to do, no matter what it is. Everybody, and it could be working, being a manager at a restaurant. It could be being a manager at a call center. It could be whatever, whatever you're doing that you find fulfilling in your life, that you find fits you, that you don't mind putting time into to make your money, where it's not like work and stress. Your purpose, like that may be your purpose, to help somebody in the call center in that fashion, depending on what you're doing. Everybody's just different. God may call you to be a pastor. God may call you to be a youth pastor. God may call you to be an actor, whatever, and edify him in that way. He may call you to be a astronaut, whatever. Like, whatever it is that he's calling you to do, and you think that that's your purpose, go ahead and do that. If you feel like that's the purpose, if God puts it in your heart that that's the purpose for your life, you're not feeling any stress, it's fulfilling you, then you do that. As long as it's not going against his will. But don't join these people in trying to chase money. Everything you do is around chasing money. How much this job pay? Let me see. That's if I'm gonna go into this profession. If people going into professions because of how much it paid, but you hate the job. You have people. I talk to a lot of people who are CNAs, nurses, things like that, work around a lot of these high dollar people. But the thing is when you work around them people like that, and you work for places like that, those aren't the best work environments. Don't think that those work environments are devoid of stress. No, they come with their own levels of stress. You have the people who think that they over you or talking to you crazy. You have people because they thinking you under them and beneath them. You can't, you can't make, you walking on eggshells. You can't say certain things. You can't even do certain things in your personal time with these jobs. A lot of these jobs, like some of these jobs where you making these so-called chasing the bag or something like that, man, you don't even have no off time. They don't even give you a lot of off time. Like, they don't even give you time with your family. You can't even spend time with your family, but you getting, you making this money. And the thing is, this money just comes and goes. Again, if you're not a good steward over it, if you're not giving it to God, you're not following the laws of reciprocity, your money just going into the hands of others. It's just exchanging hands. You get a little trinket here and there, boom. The more you get, the more you spend, and it's like more money, more problems. So it's like you stay broke. You're not a good steward over your money. And when you chasing this money, chasing mammon, it run from you. It's running. It's running. You're chasing it. In this society today, I've never seen people be. So, and I mean, I know this has been going on, but in American society, I've seen some really money hungry people. Like, people are becoming more money grubbing and more money hungry than ever. And some will say it's because the society is becoming more effeminized, and I don't know. I'm not going to go there, but that is a thought, and women themselves are easily the biggest consumers in the world, and they consume all of this stuff, and they the ones who keep driving the prices and stuff of things, and they're the ones who keep influencing men and to chase this, like, I need this. They never satisfied. You get a lot of these women who are never satisfied, and they constantly want they have the Jezebel spirit. And they constantly have men and manipulate men into doing things that they know that's against God, things that they know they shouldn't be doing in order to gain riches and things like that, just under the guise to try to keep them happy or to appease them or something like that. That's why, you have men on the internet who they just go their own way. They're done with the simping. They're done with all of that. That's keeping you in bondage, man. Like, if a woman loved, and the men in the Bible, that wasn't like, you hear women want to misquote the Bible and things like that for how men used to be. Yes, these men took care of their women. The women didn't have a choice at the end of the day. There was, and the men of the Bible, look, those, a lot of those, sometimes those men didn't even have a home. Sometimes those men were moving around. Peter was walking with Jesus. I'm pretty sure his wife he just left her at, where he was at, but sometimes she came with him. Like, your woman gotta be on your mission and on your program. It's not about how much money. The women in the Bible and asking the man how much money he made. They didn't even question that. That was not even a question. You got to point that out to me in the Bible where that was when David was working for Saul. David wasn't. He didn't have. He was working for Saul as his armor bearer. He was under him, but David was working. He was a working man just like everybody else. And when he got his first wife, David was just working. That's all he was doing. You understand? He became king later. And that's the thing about some of you women today. A lot of you women don't want to, you don't want to be the helpmate to your man. Like, your man has tons of potential. Some of it he probably doesn't even realize yet. And a lot of men, like, two heads are better than one. If you have time to free you up from certain things, if you have less stress on your life, you'll operate at a higher capacity. But that's where a woman's help comes in. Other than that, that's why a lot of rich men, they never settle down, because they like, I've already built myself up. I don't need to. You see these horror stories of men when they get with a woman, when they get with them, when they're rich, and when a woman they quick to look for divorce, and then as soon as they divorce the man, they want high amounts of money from him. That's how it works. And that's just the society that we're in today, because people worship in money. That's why relationships don't last. That's why, like, they end quicker than ever today, because people are worshiping money and then too lazy to go, to really apply themselves, like I said, and do the work. See, God helps those who helps themselves. If you go and find your purpose, then you'll be happy. Like, that's why, again, when you get into a relationship, you need to find just a person who's just happy and content. Like, it can't be, and this is men or women, but it can't, a lot of times it's women. You can't come into the relationship needing help. Men or women, you can't come, like, for a man, you should never enter a relationship with a woman if you don't have your stuff together. Meaning a place, apartment, whatever, your own space, yourself together where you're comfortable, and happy. And the number one key is you need to be on your purpose that the Lord has for you. You have to have discovered that. And once you do that, you'll be content, and you'll meet women and your partners in the place where you're at. Where it'll be like lock and key, like you'll be right on alignment. So you don't never have to force it. You understand? And that'll be the person that you need to get with, and cling to, because in this world today, it's too much money worship for people to be happy and to be content. They're running themselves rampant. They not happy. A lot of things, like I said, a lot of things that they do, a lot of things that people do today is all geared around money and status, That's it. They're not even worried about their purpose. They're not worried about contributing something to the world that's meaningful. They're not worried about that. They're following the dollar bill. People are scamming. People are scamming you like crazy today. Scams are everywhere. It's scams here. The internet is full of scams. Internet got scammed. Everybody, you got to be careful. You get so many calls. Mostly the calls on your phone are scam calls, or people looking for money or to collect money. When it comes to your bills, like your job's not paying you any more money. They not rushing to give you a raise and pay you more wages. But these bill companies don't stop calling you. Like, if you owe them anything, like, they quick to cut your stuff off. They don't want to work with you. That's the world today. This world is becoming greedy. They are serving Mammon. Uncle Sam. Don't get me started on Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is your broke uncle. Uncle Sam takes your money. He pillages from you. He get money on all from everybody on all ends. If you don't pay him, it's gonna be you're gonna have a bad time. He does all of that, but when you need money from him or you need some emergency help from Uncle Sam, he like your broke uncle. I ain't got it. You see how askew the system of capitalism is set up? It's not set up for you to win. Capitalism, in all of these systems around the world, you don't want to be under some communism or something like that as well. That's why you need the perfect leadership of the Lord. Human beings will never be able to achieve that. This has happened. This is a cyclical thing with human beings. You would think that in 2023, we would learn to be able to share. We would learn to be able to pay people, what they're worth. We would learn to be fair. We would learn to not be jealous. We would learn to, but people have these things and they adopt these things as being natural. It is natural to humans, and that's the sin. That's the nature of sin that happened from the fall of Adam. When Adam fell and Adam sinned, all humanity fell with him. And that's why there is not one good person who could call themselves good, not in the eyes of the Lord, not when it comes to truly being good. Not one person can boast. And in this world today, like I say, unless we search within ourselves and become more selfless, become more Christ-like, this world is going to get worse and worse, and you're going to mess around and we're going to have another war out here. You're going to have we already have, Russia and Ukraine. America's going to be involved in another war if they keep on. It's going to be another world war if the world keeps going the way that it's going. And I really do mean that. What do I mean? Because it can't sustain itself this way, with people constantly infighting and being greedy. People constantly taking from another. You have so many scams on the internet. You have so many scams in the world today. Every call you get is a telemarketing call or something to try to mislead you and get you to buy into some program. You can't keep, people can't keep doing that and have the society sustain itself in a healthy way, mentally or financially. Financially, you have all of these big companies. There's huge companies that run the world. If you learn, there's some corporations and companies that actually had slave labor, Nazi slave. They actually had slave labor during the World War II. They also you have companies who had black slave labor. And these companies are now bigger entities that's around the world. You have some companies that were involved in slave labor that were in cahoots with Hitler. And these people now are global companies. These companies acquire other companies around the world. They're very powerful. And if you look at their dark past, it starts to make you think. You can't serve God and serve Mammon. You can't serve God and serve money. The people you have people looking into having these conspiracy theories about celebrities now. It's bigger than the celebrities. It's people with a lot more money than these celebrities. They're just the pawns, but they're just the influencers, and they have to do what the bigwigs say, and the bigwigs are following Satan. Yes, Satan has given these people gifts. If you listen to some of those men who are designing those, when they were starting their companies and the designs that they have, some of those men will tell you that they got those ideas from otherworldly beings. You need to start listening to people when they tell you this. When they say that, they're not meaning aliens like the little green men coming and taking you up and probing you. They're speaking of the demonic realm, the demonic beings. These things have taught humanity throughout time. Satan beguiled Eve, and he told her that if she ate of that apple, that she, he tricked her and he told her that if she ate of the apple, she'll see everything like as God did. And now look at what happened to humanity. They got cursed because he didn't get them the full truth. He didn't tell them that they was going to be cursed by God by doing that. And God didn't want that for them. Because human beings, that's the moral of this, is human beings given the knowledge and technology and things to destroy themselves will surely do it. You understand? Ideas and thought and things like that, these things come from the source. These things come from the creator God. Jesus Christ came and validated all of these things. He informed you. He gave you all of this information. You understand God's character through Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ wasn't money hungry. He told you to render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. When the disciples traveled, they didn't even take anything with them. Jesus compared, he told you how the birds, he compared us to the birds, how they don't be worried. They don't worry. The birds don't worry about their next meal, what's gonna happen. God provides all of that. You have all that stuff on the earth. We didn't have, people didn't have money years ago in ancient times. You gotta understand that. The earth still went on. You have some people who are very extreme now. I'm not saying you should just do away with money altogether. I mean, you need it. You have to have a currency system, or that's in a society that you're in, a structured society. That's fine. I mean, you can have structure to that. But I'm kind of like in the train of thought where, universal wealth is what I believe in, really. Like, everybody should be on if this was harmony, everybody would be would have enough to be able to not only live but build and be creative. Not everybody being rich. Rich is a state of mind and state of being, but just enough things to not have to worry. People can't, they starve and people can't worry about how they're gonna pay their bills. That's due to Satan and this evil, this evil world. That's man, the greed of man. Money money is the root of all evil. This is why you have people, people doing the evil and atrocities that you have on the world for money and power and gain and greed. So with that being said, this is Super Solican. This is The Awakening. I'm gone.